So, Mimi, welcome to my channel. Welcome to the Fold Herd. Thank you for joining and representing your country in my video. It's nice to see you here. You are also one of my dear big sisters, for a long time. So, I'm really glad to have your thoughts and sharings, as advice from you. So, again, welcome to my channel. And I'm not gonna talk much. I will give it the talk to you fully, so you can enjoy it. First, you can start with introducing yourself, you know. Let's go.
For having me. I'm very happy that I can be part of this project. And my name is Mariam. I am from Germany. I live in Germany, but I am part German, part Iraqi. My husband, for example, he's from originally from Palestine, but was born in Syria. I speak English and German, and I am Muslim. I wanted to introduce a little bit where I live and how my perspective is from that. I live in the western part of Germany. We have lots of multicultural things here. So that's why I grew up in like a area where I met a lot of nationalities. For example, we have a lot of Turkish people, especially in the western part of Germany. Mostly because of, for example, the car producer Ford or other productions where most of them worked, and now they have like many new. They enveloped their life here, so there are many centuries gone now, and they they are a big part of this German community. They became a really big and important part. Same with, for example, the Italian people. So when you live here, you automatically grow up with not even with German people mostly, but also with Turkish people, Italian people, Arabian people. There is a lot of cultural mix. So this is something which is really remarkable here in my part of the country. It's different in other parts of Germany for sure. And sometimes when you leave the bigger areas, it gets a little complicated sometimes, especially when you live there. But I think most of the country is really open-minded. Like I said, it depends. I really, really like here living because you have like health insurance all the time. It's from the law. But you also have a great social system. So, for example, if there's something happening in your life and you can't work or whatsoever, the government helps you and just doesn't let you down. And that's, I think, a very, very good thing. But there are also things I clearly dislike. For example, if you are in the bigger cities, they're all very, very dirty. There is a lot of things that are demolished or not good anymore, and I think that's a very bad thing because this is also our view we give to the people outside. So when they come to our cities, they'll be like, oh wow, German cities, they must be very beautiful and everything. And then you come to like Frankfurt or also Cologne, they also have very nice sites, but most of the places are like they could be better. And the other thing is, some German people have a lot of prejudices against, especially against non-Westernized cultures. And we are working on that, especially the newer generations, the younger generations do their best so that these misconceptions don't stand anymore. But it's a lot of work. Yeah. Like many people think as soon as they hear you're from the Middle East or something, they'd be like, oh, you're getting oppressed, right? Like they don't believe you that you're a free person and that you lived a very happy
Travel.
life. But
Yeah, travel around the world.
everyone thinks your parents oppressed you and the society oppressed you, and it's not true. It's not right, especially when they hear that you're Muslim. yeah, then they have like this picture in their mind, and it's really really hard to overwrite that story. And but the younger generations are working on that, like I said.
So yeah, if you want, we can slowly pass to the
Yeah.
place of women in your country, and also like we can talk about like your husband culture as well,
Mhm.
because like you're in Germany and he's also from another country. You can talk about it.
And in the beginning, it sometimes was a little stressful because I grew up in a certain way and my husband grew up in a certain way. And even though we have like the same religion and also the same beliefs, sometimes um, everybody has a way to be in mind how, for example, a woman should be or a husband should be. And then you sometimes have like these conflicts. For example, here it is normal for a girl to, or even a woman to go out after 10 p.m. And
Mm-hmm.
for my husband, it was like, why would you want to go out in the night without me? Why do you want to do that? Is there a particular thing why you want to do that? And when I told him, no, it's completely normal. And my friends just met at 9 p.m. So I guess I can stay there until maybe 11. He would be like, for what? Why don't you meet earlier? um,
Mm-hmm.
or we had a little misconception about friendships. Like here, it's totally normal to be friends, or to have a friendship between men and women. Like it's an ordinary thing, and also you act like normal friends. Like when you meet each other, and normally you give your friend a hug. It doesn't
Yes,
matter if it's a man or a
man
woman.
or female. Yes.
Yeah. And he was like, why are you hugging your male? First, why you have male friends?
Yeah.
Second, why do you hug them?
Yeah, I can relate. I can relate.
Yeah. In my society, um, I think I want to separate that, because I want to separate between the job part and between the social part. Because when we talk about jobs and working, I think there is a huge gender pay gap. Like women clearly get paid less than men, and also in higher positions, they don't have the same opportunities like men. And I guess that comes from the thought that the bigger companies, or the companies, think that, especially when they are younger women, that they will leave sooner or later. Like, they will be gone for a few years because they want to have children and everything. And so we don't even employ them. Or why? Why?
The way we talk about serious thing and it's like yeah.
And like I said, in the working part, I think women are having a harder time than men. But in the social part, it's I think it's okay. Like when we talk about Germans, I think they don't make a very huge difference between men and women. Like they're equal. And I also, in my mixed culture, let's say that, I have never experienced something else. Like, I grew up that women and men are equal. I grew up that they have that women have certain things to do and a certain things to be. But I didn't see like this bad part. Like for my parents, for example, it was always clear that I have to study, I have to get a job, I have to work for myself and not just depend on a husband, which is different, for example, to the culture my husband grew in. There, you are free to choose, but if you choose to be a stay-at-home mom, just do it. Like, you can do that. Yeah, there is no there is need in education. They also want their daughters to have a lot of success, but if they decide not to, then it's also okay. But that's why I always tell younger girls, it really depends who are you marrying, because there are still these guys who say, I want to be, and they don't say it, but they give you the feeling of, I want to be better than you, I have to be higher than you. And you never know if you get one of these guys. So be prepared, get your studying, get your degree, and be in this part kind of independent. Because, like, in our religion, it's not possible to get to know a person. How can I say that? In their
Uh,
in their real
the comfort zone. Yeah,
yeah, in their
they are
comfort zone.
they are saying like you can't know the real person without entering the home. You know,
Yeah,
like but in our
yeah,
like in our religion, you shouldn't do that. You
yeah.
know, so like it's a
You only
conflict.
get, and the problem is, you only get to know a person when you live with them. When you really have a life together, you see what that person is. On the other hand, is good, is, for example, that you have that the government really takes care of you, for example, when you leave for maternity. Yeah, they pay you a monthly salary, even though you don't work. You can live from that. It's not big, but it's okay to live. You have the right to come back at your place in the meantime, so they don't. The company is not allowed to fire you. When you are pregnant, they are not allowed to fire you. When you are pregnant and applying for a new job, the law allows you to lie and say, because so they when they ask you in an interview, uh, are you planning to have a family? The law allows you to lie to them and say to them, no, I don't, because the law knows when you say yes, it can be that they don't apply you. And that's a very good thing in this country and the place of women, what they have.
So yeah, like I guess like in your country, um, how can I say? Yeah, Muslims exist in Turkish because of Turkish people and because of some German culture. It exists, or maybe like it's because you are half Iraq. Maybe that's why as well. But like as I know, in German, there's a lot of Muslim as well. You know,
Yeah,
so
there are a lot, plenty. Yeah.
mm, so like as a woman, as a job, it can be hard, it can be misjudgments towards you, but I guess if you're single, like it's okay. And in law, you can say lie, as you said. In social life, there's no problem. That's
Mm.
for me the most important part, because like mostly we are living in social environment and we are feeling happy about it, you know. Maybe in job it can be okay because like we are saying like, oh, it's a job, you know. It's
Yeah.
like maybe you won't see them again, you know. You will just close the door and go away from them, you know. You will find someone else. But like when you really don't have that social circle, you will feel alone. You will feel like you are someone else, like you are not accepted, you know. So like it's really good to have social circle is really accepting you the way you are, you know. That's from my side really important part. So I really love it, and I really find it really helpful to listen your advice as a big sister, you know. Thank you for joining, and I'm really appreciate for your, you know, special effects, you know. Special effects and special thoughts, obviously. And thank you again. Thank you so much, Mimi.
Yeah, thank you for letting me talk and being part of this project.
You're welcome.